Thank you and welcome. Maybe just a quick question. I want to check. There's a big audience. There's a few seats in the front if you want for the people in the back. Who here is from HR? Okay, so half, a bit more than half. We had a conversation when we were preparing saying, but this is not really an HR topic, it's really a business topic, it's a strategy topic. So we were hoping there would be more people that are not from HR. So I have two great guests today. I have Christina, who is from SLB. In case you don't know, it was called before Schlumberger. I think sometimes it's useful. A large global company, 110,000 employees, and Jean-Côme from Schneider Electric, about 150,000 employees. Both of them have a big experience working in various industries and in various countries. So I think we'll have a very interesting conversation today. So maybe I would like to start with you, Christina. You had different approaches between SLB, and Schneider Electric. And maybe I wanted to start with you and ask you what was the journey at SLB in terms of bridging domain and AI, and what did you do?
So absolutely, Edith. So bonjour à tous, merci beaucoup. So our journey started from a point of pain, actually. Because in SLB we have several thousand petrotechnical experts who hold our key technical knowledge. And sometime around 2020, we started to realize that we were having quite significant attrition rates, very close to double digits. And when we went in and started questioning what was going on, when we talked to these people, we realized that there was a sense of fear and apprehension that their jobs were going to be taken over by AI. So in fact, a lot of them at the time were leaving to go and pursue additional studies in the field of data science. At the same time, we were also riding the wave of AI, and we were going out and we were hiring pure data science profiles. And again, we were realizing that we didn't really know how to leverage them within the organization. In fact, a lot of the managers didn't necessarily know how to focus or direct these profiles. So we were in a lose-lose situation, essentially. And then it dawned on us that maybe the solution is that we need to have a combination of the two coming together. So we need to build a domain profile with those inherent AI skills. And that was the beginning of our upskilling journey, particularly for a specific core of this population where we wanted them to retain that domain knowledge. They knew what to do with it, but give them that AI and data science skills to really go out there and innovate and create. Particularly so because at the time we were also building up our innovation factories, these centers of innovation, and we needed to populate them. So that is where the journey really began for SLB.
And you talked about attrition rates, so what happened?
So what happened is, surprisingly, we dropped from an attrition rate that had hit 8-9% in this population to 2%, which in the world of HR is actually pretty exceptional. We're very proud of that.
Very impressive.
Yes.
And do you have other metrics? If you have attrition that went down so much, what other metrics do you have?
No, so absolutely. So we do an annual survey in SLB where we measure engagement, and it was amazing to see the uptake in this particular population. We saw almost a 500 basis points increase in terms of engagement for the population. What we also saw is when we went in and started tracking the number of patents, papers, etc., significant increases. But also we look at our commercial solutions that are created, and these hybrid profiles were creating almost 30% of these commercial solutions for us. So that for us is very tangible business value and value that we provide to our customers.
Wow, thank you. Very impressive results, very tangible as well. Maybe, Jean-Côme, your turn. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about the journey at Schneider and the squads. Your approach was a little bit different, more centralized.
Yes, so very interesting, and actually there are some similarities and some difference with SLB. So in Schneider Electric, we decided as a group to do AI at scale back in 2021. So we created what we call an AI hub. So it's a centralized team that is a global expertise center, okay, that delivers AI at scale for customers. So basically we embed AI within the offers, services, products that we sell to our customers in a make mode. So we actually develop the AI ourselves. Or we do also AI for our employees, for efficiency and innovation. And here we do it in a buy mode or in a make mode. all of this is happening around 3 hubs in Boston, Bangalore, and in France, plus 1 in China, because we always do China for China. So it's actually a centralized team, but still an agile team that works with the concept of what we call AI squads. So the concept of AI squads is what we share with you is that our conviction is that the true value of AI comes when the technology meets the human part. Okay, so we need to bring the two together. And so in the AI squad, you have a domain expert, so someone from specialist in energy efficiency, in data centers, for instance, and you bridge it with AI expertise. Okay, so we bring a squad where we take people from a line of business that knows the customer, that know the problem of the customer. They have deep knowledge expertise, and we bring it into a team with some AI experts that are top-notch on AI. Okay. And the 2 of them, or the 6 of them, or 7 of them, depending how many they are, they solve real business problems. So this is how we started. And is really the idea is that they move from ID to value for our customers. So very close to the customer. And it's a little bit different from what actually I think is a digital factory. Digital factory, in my mind, at least, you bring in a factory someone from a business, someone from IT, but they are separate from your business. So they are not embedded in the flow. So they treat things as innovation. So they are more focused on a pipeline of projects and production, not so much on the customer outcome.
So how many squads do you have? I have a few questions. How many squads do you have? And when you join a squad, you're there forever, or for how long? Is it a short term? What's the lifetime?
So actually, it's very difficult to tell the number of squads because they depend on the number of projects. So we have hundreds of projects that are running in parallel at different phases of maturity. Some of them are ideation, exploration. So we have also, kind of a pipeline. But more or less, you have 1 squad per project, and someone can contribute to multiple squads. So we have something like 50 teams that are working on projects in parallel. And they are here it can be for 1 month and a half if the ideation finally doesn't go through. It can be for 6 months or even sometimes more when we do a big development that we embed in software that our businesses sell to our customers.
Okay. So, and what that happens in terms of skills transfer? The people who are joining a squad, do you have permeability of skills?
So actually we have what we call value streams. So we try even the AI expert to specialize them by business or by function so that they don't have to rediscover everything. So they are not primarily the domain experts, but they have a better knowledge in industrial automation or energy management or finance or supply chain or whatever.
So it's a little bit moving to the hybrid model that we were referring, I think, as a maturity. Yeah.
So actually, as we said, we started 4 years ago. So with a centralized approach, now we are moving to a more hybrid model where within businesses and function, we allow the businesses and function to build their own mini hub. So they hire themselves data scientists and MLOps, DevOps, etc. So they either can deliver through the global team or they can deliver locally. And what happens is that when it's a technology we know, we have experience on those projects that we transfer the knowledge to the line of business, then they can execute locally. When it's future looking or more complex, then it stays with the central model. And so the idea is to go with scale and to embed AI knowledge within the business progressively.
Interesting. And for you, Christina, can you tell us hybrid model as well, how you're evolving?
Yeah, no, definitely. We kind of experimented back and forth a bit, but we've kind of reached the same conclusion that you need a hybrid model. We still keep centralization of resources through what we call our innovation factory. So we try and really also use it for governance and the mothership, if you will, in terms of knowledge transfer. But really, innovation happens where the human meets the technology and the knowledge resides there, and that's what you ideate on. So you certainly need that hybrid model and decentralization where we move things into our geographies. And what is interesting is that role in the context of SLB takes on a little bit of an additional hybrid role because we find that then you need an aspect of business development for these profiles, in addition to the technical knowledge and in addition to the AI and data science skills. So the selection of those profiles is very, very important. There's a differentiation between when you keep people purely in those centralized centers of innovation where you don't have necessarily the direct client contract. You need an additional little bit of a skill set when you're actually placing them localized in the geographies. But that's really where they have the contact with the customers to understand what are the challenges to build, to innovate, to customize. Yeah.
So more proximity to the field as well.
And maybe to add something, I think one of the challenges you face at the beginning, embedding or recruiting AI people in businesses spread it across. I think why we centralized was also to get a critical mass, because if you're a data scientist, you worked at Google before or in the finance industry, and you come to SLB or Schneider, after 6 months you realize that you do one project out of 5 are AI project, the rest is data project, and you don't know what is your career path. So I think now both solution works. It's just 2 roads to the same success.
Yeah, for sure. We spoke about transformation, we talk about skills. Maybe we can talk a little bit about your upskilling programs. Maybe we'll start with you, Jean-Côme. You have your Learn, Act, Advocate program at Schneider, and you've been in charge of that.
So one of the conviction I have as well is if we want to generate value with AI, you need to invest in skills. It was said in the previous panel. AI is nothing different than the other digital transformation. But it's even more because it's touching the white collars. So if you don't invest in skills, people will not adopt it. And if they don't adopt it, you have no value. So it's very, very simple. Everything that is promised here by the tech guys on the floor will not be a reality. So you need to invest in skills. And I don't believe that jobs will be replaced tomorrow, but tasks are replaced tomorrow. So you need to, for each of the individual in the company, they need to know what they will use AI for, to augment what they do, to substitute, like Jean-Roch was saying, or to replace, but it can be also replaced. And for this, you need to upskill people. So we have a curriculum for 4 types of audience, C-level masterclass, thought leadership mainly. Then we have a curriculum for experts. So it's more certification path. They need to stay top-notch. Then we have awareness for all employees. And finally, AI for business people contributing to data and AI project. So we created curriculum. This is the learn part, so people can self-serve. And we saw that people decided to upskill themselves, whatever you like it or not. So if you don't have in your company upskilling program on AI, people are upskilling themselves on AI anyway. So you better build something, because if you don't do it, they will go on their own and they will learn different things. So there is a lot of bottom-up push from the employee. The second thing we wanted to do is, AI stays very theoretical if you don't use the tools. So we do a lot of things that are physical events or live events where people come and play with the technology. You call it a promptathon, you call it a hackathon, whatever. The principle is you come, you use the technology in context, in your function, in your business, with your peers, and you learn like this. And the third thing is, while we do this, we see people that are actually AI champions. They do this night and day, but they are not named by the organization. So those guys, we recruit them, they become our AI adoption champion, and they actually do my job on the field. So they will spread the knowledge, and I don't pay them because, they do this at night, right? Or during the day, but they are not officially named. So we recruit them, we train them, we give them better tools. We give them toolkit to deploy, to organize promptathon locally, to spread the word. And that works a lot. We have now 1,000 people doing this. And for the Learn, this year alone, 48,000 unique employees took AI training, non-mandatory training. And we have 130 minutes mandatory training for everyone in the group, and 99.2% of the company. So from shop floor to CEO took it.
So EU Act, tick.
It's not EU Act. It's what is AI, how does it work? What do we have for shop floor and for white collars? And then changing the culture so that they understand they need to experiment and they need to upskill themselves every day.
It's responding to the requirements of the EU Act that everyone needs a basic knowledge.
Okay,
Okay. Christina, what about SLB?
Well, first of all, I want to talk a little bit more to Jean-Côme afterwards on how he achieved those very impressive numbers. In SLB, not a dissimilar approach. I agree exactly with the same philosophy, and we need data science and AI is a tool for everybody, and it's something that on a very fundamental level, it's a skill that all of us need to have, and the next generation is coming with that. In SLB, our engineer trainees, when they come in, the first 3 years, they do a fixed step training program. A lot of them are already coming with these skills embedded from universities. So for this population, it's actually easy to upskill them because we can mandate it. The challenge is going up the ladder, where you have absolutely the early adopters and the pioneers, but a similar thing. We pushed out learning for our petrotechnical experts. And it's where the ones that are very intrinsically open to that will go out and complete, but it's really pushing all the others to adopt. The one thing we did find is that our more senior population complains about time, having the time and the bandwidth to learn. I think the will is there, but in the day-to-day carving out that time, that has been our biggest battle in upskilling people. And then we've taken the training very similar to you up to different levels of the organization, because fundamentally the other challenge we saw is, like I said in the beginning, if you have people within your teams trained and they have this amazing skill set, but if as a manager you cannot guide and direct them on what to focus on, they will very, very quickly lose motivation. So that's why this transformation has to come at all levels. It's not enough to just do one section or one substrata. You have to go bottom to top to bottom, in order to really leverage value from this.
Thank you. I think this is bringing us to one of our next questions on transformation, because we've been talking a lot about transformation. Maybe asking you a key success factor or difficulty that you want to share with the audience.
Okay, maybe I start. So our approach really started from a bottom-up approach, and when we saw the demand, because we are in what I call the hyper-growth market, so everybody know that they need to upskill in themselves. So it's not very hard to get customer. I call customer my learners, right? Because I come from a marketing and sales background. So as soon as you display the product and the product is good, people take it. So bottom-up approach worked a lot. Then, as we had great numbers, it was easier for us to go back to senior leaders and say, okay, people are learning. What are you guys doing? And when you see the learning from the top 2,200 and the top 10,000, more or less, leaders and managers in Schneider, the learning was very low. So that helped us to convince them to learn by themselves and then to push more, because I needed more hair cover. You know, when you do bottom-up, it's good, but it's a lot of energy. When you have the big boss saying, I'm learning myself, and this is what I learn, then everybody's following him. So that's, in a second step, we had management support. But the free challenge for me is, in general, what I see in other companies is over-investing in technology, not so much in skills. So I think it's very important to democratize AI awareness and AI understanding across teams to avoid, siloed success, because you can have success in one part of your organization, but if you don't democratize the learning and the success, then it doesn't happen everywhere. So that's the first thing. The second thing is we need a cultural change. If you ask to anyone outside of Grand Palais, what do they know about AI? They will tell you what they read in the newspaper. AI will take my job. AI is bad for the planet. Okay? So it's not very positive. What they know is also what they know from Hollywood movies, which is even worse. So, and white collars in particular, because we know it will take our job, or we think it will take our job. So if you don't educate white collars, they will not adopt it, you will have no success. And last thing I can say is, if you consider AI as innovation and you treat it like this, so you do this in a lab, you do proof of concept, you will most probably not get where you want to go to value, because basically to do an innovation you need what? You need three things. You need ideas. Everybody can have good ideas. You need technology. Now it's available. It's not the problem. And you need a go-to-market. So if you treat AI as an innovation on the side, not embedded in your process, you will not get scale. You will get great proof of concept, but not scale. So for me, the third thing is really embed AI within your processes and bridge technology and domain expertise.
And revisit some processes, right? Because it's not
That's the hard thing.
Yeah.
So putting AI in a process is not so difficult. Doing an AI first process is much more difficult. And we are not there yet, to be clear.
Christina, you want to talk about atomic habits or a little bit? Yeah.
Yes, no, absolutely, because I completely concur and agree with everything that Jean-Côme has said. And like I said at the beginning, our biggest challenge was actually getting our senior managers to learn and adopt, and that's where we found we had to have a more customized approach. But to the point of atomic habits, it's something that, starting even from a learning perspective, doing a little bit every day, and it starts with us as individuals. That's what I always tell my team, trying to come in and carve out those 10 minutes of your day to learn something new, and asking our senior managers to actually be visible in that. But it's if you don't take that additional step to actually adopt, which is why we're here, and implement it and do something. So trying something a little bit different every day. And we are in the world of HR. We deal with tremendous data sets. So I say to my team, and some of them are sitting here today, if we are not adopting and using it in our HR workflows, how do we demonstrate to the rest of the organization? So taking something every day, taking a process, taking a flowchart, taking an Excel, and let's automate it, let's do something different. That's really what builds up the momentum. I think a lot of people expect innovation to be this great big step change. But for us, what we've seen is really those daily improvements and tweaking those processes to get there and adopt it. Because without adoption, we don't deliver the value. Yeah.
Thank you. You didn't talk about gamification in the end, but it's okay. You wanted to say something as well?
I can talk a little bit about gamification. The one thing which really impressed us, because I'll be honest, I wasn't super convinced at the beginning. I thought it would be a gizmo. When people complete the training, we give them digital badges. And we were amazed at how much people love that. Because it's something that it signals externally to the organization as well. People can post them on their LinkedIn, and it's very indicative of the fact that they are actually learning. And it's a tick box that I've done something. So that very, very simple act actually is a very big motivator for some people. Yes. So thank you, Edith, for reminding me.
Thank you. Maybe, I think we're getting to the end. You want to have final comment or final...
I think the baseline from Artefact, I love it. It's AI is about people. That's my final word.
Yes. And people is the hard bit, and I think we've said that. And it's all about people, and it starts with people, and it's getting them to adopt it. 100%.
Thank you for both of you. Thank you very much. Do we have time for questions?
Thank you very much.